The Taliban takeover of Afghanistan has shocked and horrified the world. Of particular concern, what will come of women and girls under Taliban rule? We are seeing your DMs and messages asking what you can do to help. So we are talking to somebody whose organization is there on the ground, a nonprofit that is working to make a difference. Sunita Viswanath is the board chair for Women for Afghan Women, which is a grassroots civil society organization focused on protecting and promoting the rights of disenfranchised Afghan women and girls in Afghanistan and the US. Sunita, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
First, would you tell us a little bit about Women for Afghan Women? What do you do in Afghanistan? How does your organization help?
Women for Afghan Women was founded 20 years ago this year, and I'm sitting in the Queens, New York Community Center of Women for Afghan Women, and this was our first program. We were founded before 9/11, and we visioned ourselves as a community-based organization that would work deep within the community, completely respectful of traditions and religion and practices within the community in order to bring safety and nonviolence and peace within families and communities. This is our mission. And we do that here in the Afghan diaspora in Queens, New York. And we have done it over the last 20 years across Afghanistan. We were founded here in New York, but then in 2003, we went for the first time to Afghanistan and saw with our own eyes the situation for women. And our former executive director, Manisha Naderi, who was at that time building our Queens Community Center, made a pledge that our work within the community, which really works, it's really possible to respect the community and its practices and its religion and bring people together within the community, even when there is conflict. And from that work in the community, bring healing and bring peace and build lives where there is no violence. That is something we've done, and we've been doing it in Afghanistan. At this point, we are the largest Afghan women's organization in the world, and we have bricks and mortar facilities, programs in 14 provinces across Afghanistan.
So what is your staff seeing in Afghanistan right now, and what are your clients there experiencing?
We didn't know that this would happen so soon, but this is not a shock or a surprise to us. And we've been preparing for this moment. And the way that we've been preparing is all the provinces, the 13 other than Kabul, we have been slowly, gradually, and carefully evacuating people to Kabul. And most of our staff and clients and their families are now in Kabul. And that's our focus right now. That's our priority right now, the safety of these people, our people, in this moment when the city of Kabul is crazy, chaotic, and there's just violence and shooting and rampaging and looting throughout the city.
Can you give us a sense of the magnitude? How many people are we talking about?
We have 1,200 staff, but over this period of evacuation and then the increasing danger, and then finally the Taliban complete takeover, many of our staff have left us and just gone underground a little bit and are lying low with their families or in the community. And then similarly, some of our clients have just run away in terror. Who is left with us right now is approximately 500 people, including staff and clients and families. And that's the group of people that we are trying to bring to safe passage.
Can you give us a sense what you hear from your people on the ground? What do you hear from the women in Kabul? What's happening to them? We look at these photos of Kabul from journalists, and it's almost all men on the streets. We look at the pictures at the airport of people trying to flee. It's almost all men. Where are the women and girls?
This is a moment where, especially if you're in Kabul, the rest of the country at this moment seems quiet. But in Kabul right now, stepping out is a threat to your life. The city is in absolute anarchic chaos. And so right now, the main priority is to stay alive. That is literally what is on everybody's minds. The question of what will happen in the future, will girls be able to go to school? Will women be able to work? These are all, of course, on our minds, but right now the most urgent concern is staying alive. And for us, we have first to take care of the safety of these people, and then to assess, when the dust settles, what is the situation in Afghanistan? There are messages that in certain provinces, girls will be allowed to go to school, but there are also messages that in other provinces, that's not the case. So we will have to figure out, why is it different in different provinces? And what is the new Afghanistan? And can we exist as a women's organization in that Afghanistan? Will we need to reshape ourselves in some way? Can we do part of our work and not other parts? Can we not work in Afghanistan? These are all complete unknowns, and we will assess all of that as we know what the new Afghanistan allows us to do and affords us to do.
When we look at the pressure to evacuate people, the US administration says that they will stay and work to get as many out as possible. Can you give us a size of the scope of how many people do you think need safe passage out beyond the 500 that you work with, your immediate team?
I think it's tens of thousands. I don't think that, I'm not even sure, although all my hopes and prayers are on getting our people out and getting everyone who's high risk, a human rights defender, a journalist, religious minorities. I'm a Hindu Indian, and I happen to know that there's 250 Hindus and Sikhs huddled in the Gurudwara, the Sikh temple right now. They need to get out, because it's highly likely that the new Afghanistan will not be safe for religious minorities. And so I would say I don't know, but I would say tens of thousands probably need to get out. But I also just doubt that they will. And so we will have to see, how life is for all the people of Afghanistan in this new day. And, I don't know if the statements that the Taliban are giving, saying that, that girls will be able to go to school, and there's amnesty, and they will not come after children. There are many statements, and I hope they are true. And if they are true, it means that we can maybe continue our work.
What can your organization do to help secure the safe passage of people out? If people do support you guys, what will that money go toward?
We have a fundraiser right now. It's an emergency fundraiser. It's on our website, womenforafghanwomen.org, right on our homepage. And the money will go to all of the activities at this moment of crisis, whether it's whether it's us needing to charter a flight, the money that it costs to keep a number of people, their families, their extended families, keeping everybody safe, but also with all their needs day in, day out in Afghanistan right now. We are funding that. So the money will go to that. And then as this time moves forward, if people start coming here to the United States, we will have to really ramp up our office here. We will need to hire attorneys to deal with everybody's immigration needs. We will need to consult with mental health professionals to take care of all the little children that will be coming here. It isn't just about financial donations, although donations are critically important. It's a matter of expressing solidarity with the people of Afghanistan. It's a matter of knowing that the people of a country are in a very dark moment. And as global citizens, we need to do anything we can to make sure they don't feel alone and abandoned. And it could be everything from calling somebody your neighbor, your school teacher who is from Afghanistan. Call them, ask them how they are. They're not doing well right now. Find out how their family is doing. Write about what's happening. Do anything you can to spread awareness among people around the world about what is happening in Afghanistan, so that anybody who can help does, and put pressure so that your country opens its doors, so that people get to a country where they can live and be safe.
And what does that look like when you say put pressure? What does that mean specifically?
It means call your elected representatives. They have power. They can actually make a military plane arrive in Kabul today or tomorrow and take 300 people to somewhere where they're alive rather than dead.
I've heard many people say that the Taliban knows the world is watching and that they're pretty media savvy, but we should be skeptical of what they say now. And the real test is what happens in 1 or 2 months. You alluded to this as well. What is your fear of the reality that could face not just women and girls, but Afghans in general when the Taliban is fully in charge and the media has moved on?
My fear is that this new Afghanistan that we are now heading into is something like the Afghanistan pre 9/11, where there really wasn't, people didn't enjoy those basic rights that we all enjoy, and that there's very severe violence for infractions. I really hope we don't go back to those days. I have to be hopeful, and so until we know, we don't know. And so let us hope that this new moment is one where women and girls can have a public life and go to school and go to work, and the kind of work that we do in families and communities is still possible.
I love your optimism. This is the first bit of optimism I've encountered since the Taliban came into Kabul. Thank you so much, Sunita, for your work and for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jessica Yellin. If you like this video, please click subscribe, and you can click the bell to get notifications when we post new content. Thanks for watching.